in the love of liberty, in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare, side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land, we pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners, wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection, and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps. Bless our effort. Let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name, we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New era, NETT Radio.
It's the NETT Radio Breakfast Show, bringing you the energy, music, and vibes to start your day right.
Well, everybody, good morning to you, and of course, welcome. Welcome to New Era TT Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean, as we take you above and beyond on this beautiful Monday morning. It is a Monday morning, yeah. And I hope everybody had a really good weekend. Of course, I want to say much thanks to the Heavenly Father for bringing us together for another day. Everything that we do, dear God, let it be a blessing, honor to you. Wherever you may be, Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean, the wider world, we welcome everybody to a slice of heaven. I'm yours truly, Sir Charles, in your company. And of course, yes, this is NETT Radio. We welcome everybody. This is the Get Up and Go. Welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line. Let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Oh, good vibes rolling through the air. The Breakfast Show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
I have to unmute my mic. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Richard Agubasing. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. It's Monday, August 11th in Trinidad and Tobago, as I'm sure it is in other parts of the world. So, Charles, you could not have made a better start to the morning show with that
Yeah.
piece of music by Third World Steel Orchestra, the National Lottery's Third World Steel Orchestra.
Yeah,
The
right.
band that was born and bred out of the St. James community, and I dare say my family members made up maybe about 1/3 of the band.
Serious?
You know?
Oh, you have
Yeah.
personal connection to the band.
Had personal connection. I never played pan, but I push real pan. I mean, I used to be in a pan yard first and sometimes even last. But my brothers, all three of my brothers and a sister played with the band. All my cousins played with the band, the Walcott family, the Strong family, the Long family. That band was made up of the Saldina family, the Goddard family, because Pelham Goddard was the arranger, and David Splavs Waddle was the captain. I mean, you name it, that band was made up of people from Charlie's Roots.
Wow.
Name it, the whole of the St. James community made up that band. And of course, that was American Patrol, and of course, Third World also played Gold by Maestro that year and ran seventh. This whole Savannah swear Third World was going to win the Panorama that year, and they placed as seventh. And the band was never the same again after that, you know what I mean? Because it kind of deflated most of the guys and girls who played with the band, you know. But it was a very strong, knitted St. James community-based band. You know what I mean? And of course, we had gotten a top sponsor, the National Lotteries Control Board. And you know, it was so beautiful during those years. I remember being around Third World. You know, as a boy growing up, a young man growing up. As I said, I never played pan, but I pushed real pan. Pan rack roll over my toe.
Yeah, boy, what's that? That's something else, you know. You know. Wow, but is that the thing that you have that kind of connection to the band? Because you know, all that history that you just shared there, I didn't even know a lot about the band. You know, all I know is basically it's a band and it's a piece of music I've always loved. You know, and I just love that piece of music. You know, I love the Gold also. I'll probably play the Gold later on.
Yeah. Because
you know,
today's World Pan Day, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is.
Look at that.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful piece of music that was arranged, I said, by Pelham Goddard. And as I say, the entire St. James community, and St. James community, because of the diversity, so it was the Lutchman family, it was the Rampasad family, you name it, everybody played with that band. The same group of people who also played Tassa, played Pan, straight enough, and Third World was the knit that kept St. James together during those days, of course.
I think they were also, if I'm not mistaken, I think they were one of the first bands that actually started to use electronic equipment and stuff. I think, like how we have the DJs with the speaker boxes and that.
We did do that for a while. But I think that band that really revolutionized that. I'm trying to remember the name of that band now, but every year they used to come out for We Beat. And they used to have the biggest crowd because naturally the music is being projected. It's being projected, through speakers, but Third World was really, it was really a wonderful experience growing up with Third World. And I saw Sherlon Roberts, who was one of the trapsman, they used to call it trapsman, the drummer. Back in the day. I saw him posting on Facebook recently too about there was a St. James Day in New York apparently, because there are all these activities leading up to Labor Day in New York now, where all these groups come together, and there was a St. James Day apparently over this weekend, where I saw quite a bit of the guys. One of them used to call him Dumpling, Wendell Flaverny. I saw him there, and playing drums, and my two cousins, Terry Walcott and Wayne Walcott, they were also there. They now live abroad. A lot of the Third World guys actually live abroad now too. So, but it was wonderful, wonderful days. And those are the days you're pushing pan racket. Sometimes you and one other person pushing a whole bass track. You're pulling one and you're pushing one.
You had to push and pull.
Yeah. And not like truck carrying thing and all that back in them days. Everybody had to pull a rack through the streets and up to the savannah.
Push and pull.
I
do a lot of that with Potential Symphony. Coming out of they were Upper 6th Avenue and Solo Harmonites right around the corner.
Right.
Those are the good days. I used to use that to try and get into Savannah.
I don't know any of the young people these days if they recognize, because the only time they had to push and pull anything is from the edge of the stage to the top of the stage, They don't have to pull and push nothing through the streets.
Totally different.
Those were great days. Anyway.
Very, very good days.
Mm-hmm. So good morning all, and we're happy to be in the land of the living. I have a couple birthdays. Mrs. Hazel Manning, she is celebrating her birthday today. Happy birthday, Mrs. Manning. Yesterday was my sister, Luann Stephen, and my nephew, Cleus Christopher. They celebrated their birthdays yesterday, August 10th. Tomorrow I have another sister who will be celebrating her birthday. Today is also Keisha Strong's birthday, that's my cousin. Russell Pinto, my salesman from, is it Massey Motors. Morning, Russell, and happy birthday. Andrew Stephen is also celebrating her birthday today. No relative. Dane Francois from up Sangre Grande, he is also celebrating her birthday. Kelly Samuel and Lisha Alexis, they are all celebrating birthdays today. And a guy who I used to see blogging plenty, Fazer Chroma, he is also celebrating his birthday today. So happy birthday to you all.
And enjoy it.
Yeah, enjoyed. And condolences to that family who would have lost their child, Joshua, I can't remember the surname, over the weekend. And why that story touched me more than any is because the child apparently fell sick and had a cough. And it reminded me of my episode, because I also too, as you know, had a cough over the last few days, and the parents would have taken that child to hospital, and that child passed away. I think the autopsy results, both there are two autopsies done so far that kind of showed different results. But I'll tell you why. You don't when you go to a hospital, you put your faith or your life in the hands of doctors or professionals, because they're nursing staff, all manner of people they're attending to you. And you trust that what they're doing is the best for you.
Yeah, you're getting the best care. You're reaching where you're supposed to be.
Yes. So my episode on Thursday night into Friday morning, I got a cold sweating. And I actually thought it was 4 a.m. when in fact it was only 1 a.m. And I wasn't feeling well at all. As I said, I was having a fever and so on. And I decided, I woke up my son and I said, come and take me to the hospital. And I went to the hospital that early morning. Now, I didn't expect that I would have to stay. But I thought maybe they just, because when I don't get the cold, really. But when I do get the cold, I get it bad. So the first time I got it it turned into bronchitis. So this time, when I went there and they checked my heart rate, they found it was way beyond what it's supposed to be, and of course they decided to admit me. Now, me, I think in radio, I think in all manner of things I'll be missing. And they admitted me, and you see, needles is something I can't even look at. So even to stick an IV line in my hand is pain and drama. You understand? And of course, I would have received certain treatment and so on. And I put my faith in the hands of the doctors. And they kept me under monitor. And of course, they brought down my heart rate and they regularized my blood pressure and all what they had to do. And I thank them for that. I thank a good friend who stayed with me also for quite a while, Stephen. And it whenever you engage the health services, trust me, it's always a touch and go situation. It's always a touch and go situation, because you never know how bad something could turn out to be. Something as simple as a cold.
That is so true.
Something as simple as a cold, in my case, turned into a viral infection that had my heart racing to, enormous proportions, and they had to bring it down. If I had stayed home, who God alone knows what would have happened. You understand?
Thank God you decided to go.
Yeah, and that's what I tend to not take any chances now with my health. I mean, at my age and with all what I've been through, I don't take any chances. So I want to thank the doctors at St. Augustine Private Hospital, and the nurses and all the staff there. They were very, very good there. That's where I generally go if I have a problem. And I'm happy for the service that they would have rendered. And I'm here today, I don't know how long I'll be here, but I'm here today. I give God thanks.
Well, look at it this way. That is the start of our good news. You're here today.
Yes.
All right, so let's see if we can do some.
I'm here.
Yeah. All right, so let's see if we can do good news and come back.
Yeah, man.
course, that is our good news. So we can't give you all of it because I know that would have been even better news for you guys. Yeah.
So Charles, you just committed a grave sin by cutting that tune short. You went from good to the best. You went from third world to the absolute best, and you cut it, boy. Oh God, you're wicked.
Yeah, we could well remember the good news is a short segment. That song, that song is vibes going down the road.
People wouldn't mind hearing that whole thing. Oh, one of the best tunes, one of the best songs played at Pan that didn't win Panorama.
Yeah, we have some good songs that was really fantastic and they just didn't win. As you talk about third world.
Oh gosh. Marcy All Stars. I saw and Dane Golston. You saw him in the front there. I don't know where he's get that energy from, no? But beautiful rendition of Curry Tabanka.
All right, so people, that was our good news.
All right, so I guess we could.
People, we do apologize for Richard not being on set as yet. we don't know if he will join us.
He ain't gonna join. That play must have taken everything. He must have run down so much foul and corn yesterday.
And then after the show, he gone looking for corn.
I'm sure he went looking for corn.
we don't have
I don't want to add anything else where you went looking for, but let me go with corn.
I wonder if he's King Cock in the way he plays. He said we had to come and find out, right?
I had my heart so set on going to that play this weekend, and then as I did fate just dealt me a little blow there and saying, Wendell, just cool it. You need to rest. Because the amount of needle that's sticking me all in my stomach. I never get needles stick in my stomach before. I get needles stick in my stomach this time. You understand? They say cool it. That foul, that king cock and that corn ain't going nowhere. They go come back. You will see it.
Yeah. On a strict orders.
Yeah.
Let's say hello to people in the shadow.
Yeah, let's do that. Brennan Smith came in at 1:18 a.m. Everybody wake up late today, boy. Good morning to the breakfast crew. Give thanks for another day. Suzanne Jessup at 1:21 says good morning, and from Suzanne, Suzette, and Mrs. Gemma. Boy B. Daisy from Davie at 2:12 a.m. Donna Ramlo Chan at 2:19. Good morning, Sir Charles, Wendell, Richard, and all on the live. Wendy and James 3:05 from Frank and Wendy Ann. Garfield Hazel, Patricia DeFore, Marcia Rock from Orlando, Florida. Odell Guy from Sangre Grande. Margaret Thomas, Felix Kazoo, Marlon Motley from North Val saying Sherwin and Juliet Kerr, who went to the play. Richard posted a picture with Sherwin and Juliet. Sherwin and Juliet, sorry that I missed you all, but I really could not make it. Norris Ferguson says, good morning, everyone. Wayne Ramsey, good morning, guys. Lyndon Williams, Melissa from Chanflair, Cheryl Johnson from Malabar. Sankofa says, bountiful graces. Why Sankofa? Why you all keep asking for Steve Kahn and Paul Richards? I tell you, they are still with Paul 102. This is a whole brand new radio station.
Yeah, we have a whole new set of people.
Yeah, and we tired of saying that now. Robert Taylor says, good morning, guys. Lambert Bruce from El Dorado. Sankofa say, Wendell, hope you're feeling better. I am feeling a lot better. I'm still a little bit nasal and still have the cough a bit. Pearl Cody says, and Stacey Ann says, good morning, everyone. It's Stacey Ann. Did I call her Cathy Ann the other day, Pearl? I think I didn't know. So it's Stacey Ann. CJ from New York, do have a wonderful day. Much love. Carol Guevara says, blessed and beautiful morning. Diane Payne says, good morning, NETT and all on the live chat. Have a nice day, everyone. My big brother passed on Saturday. That's how I call him. So if you guys not seeing me in the chat, you understand why. Our condolences, Miss Diane Payne, on the passing of your brother. Trinidad Margot from Florida, Claire Lendor Rollins, Slick Money Grip. Diane Payne says she's listening. Kathy Ann Charles says good morning. Blessed morning, everyone, and have a wonderful and productive day. Kazim Mohammed says good morning. Ambrose Blah from New York. Alistair Hart from San Fernando. Norris Ferguson said Highlanders. What are the Highlanders? What is that? A grocery?
No, Highlanders is a band. I remember the name. I can't remember where they're from.
I feel it from Labrador. I feel it from Labrador or something. That was Norris. I feel it from
Labrador band for Highlanders. And there was something Highlanders too. I don't think it was just Highlanders.
Yeah. Rita Buru Jennings from Pidi Valley says good morning. Diane Payne is asking, are you Cheryl's sister? Grand Rising Gentlemen and Breakfast Crew, that's from Magic. Pamela Grimshaw says good morning to the best trio on radio. The first band using electronics. Oh, that's what it meant. It was Highlander.
Highlander, okay, right.
So that's what Norris meant. That was the first band using electronics.
Electronic.
Thank you very much, Pamela Grimshaw. Because I was with a Pong Norris, you know. Josie Richardson says, bless rising guys. Robert Harper, good morning, gentlemen. Bernadette and Melissa Yates says, blessed morning. Alistair Hart from San Fernando, happy birthday to his niece, Marsha Gill. Happy birthday, Marsha, coming from Uncle Alistair. Gavin Frank from Powder Magazine, morning. Miguel Gonzalez. Ram Naresh says, marvelous, magnificent Monday morning. Juliet Kerr says, good morning, everyone. Happy World Steel Pan Day. A gentle reminder to register for the Central Bank Auditorium Steel Pan Film Festival. Our sound, our stories. That's running from the 19th to the 22nd of August. And that was not a paid advertisement. Carol Guevara says, Francois Wendell. Okay, I don't know what I mean. Helen Prescott, good morning all. Ram Norris says, hi, Minister, who says the best tasty and delicious pies in Arena. That's his nephew who died at the hospital. Oh, the child.
The child died. Okay.
Yeah, that's a very sad story. Brent Hackshaw says, good morning. Estelita Sampson's good morning, Wendell. I sent you 2 nice cold remedies. You're still sounding stuffy, so drink your water. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much. Chevon Shogun. A lot of repeats here. Jasoda Ramlakan, good morning, guys. America making pan and selling it. Of course, we make pan and export it, Jasoda. Clearly, you don't know. There are plenty of pan factories in Trinidad and Tobago. Ozzy Molino, good morning. TNT. Rena Jennings, hey, why all this stuff? Me Masi All-Stars, yeah? Rena. Ron DeSantis Jr., good morning. Mrs. R, good morning. Chevon said, I think they did win, beating Phase 2 came second. No, who did win? Masi? Not with Curry Tabanka. Rena Jennings, Wendell, you sound nasal. I am very nasal. Michael Robinson from Yokohama, Japan. Carl M. Jack, 47 degrees in Baghdad today. I would love to experience our 47 degrees.
You want to experience that?
Sorry?
What do you say? Would like to?
I wouldn't mind going to Baghdad.
You wouldn't mind going to Baghdad, but it's 47 degrees.
Yeah, I will experience. I ain't going there for long, so that is not if I had to tolerate it for a few days. Hillbench Charles Davis says, good morning, Daddy and Wendell. Who's that?
CJ.
Oh, you have a son named Charles Davis too?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, look at
CJ, my DJ.
All right. James Kamau, Grand Rising. Kurt Hope says, blessed morning. And Jason Samuel said, there was a Highlander Steel Orchestra led by Lloyd Bertie Marshall in the 60s, according to Google. All right, so those are the greetings on the chat.
Okay, so let me just get back to that here. So where it started on the WhatsApp. And Kenwin, good morning to you. I think that is where the chat started this morning. Kenwin Henry, Captain Ron, out there in Ethiopia, good morning. Oliver Manwarin, good morning. Colin from Caradage, good morning to you. My girl Terry Ann Peters, nice song yesterday. Kent, also good day to you. Mr. Billy out in Powder Magazine, good morning. Valerie in Dabadi, good morning. Manish out there in Japan sent me a clip of his pan side or his pan group out there, and I'll probably try and see if we can get it for tomorrow for you, Manish, because he will be celebrating pan, Linda out there in London, good morning to you. Frank out there in Aruka. Joyce Phillips, good day. And Mr. Beeps, who's now typing, good morning to you. So those are all of the people that we have coming in very early this morning. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna pay some bills very quickly, and then we're gonna come back and check the headlines, right, Wendell?
Yep.
All right.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davanti tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
San Fernando, get ready. The Roadie one-man show is coming to the Southland. Sunday the 17th of August at Sapa. Tickets available at all K-Squared locations. Aquilise by the Park, Southern Food Basket, Coffee Street and San Fernando. Sapa box office from the 14th of August and Island Eat tickets online. For more information and box office inquiries, call 682-0467 or 683-4843. This show is strictly 18 years and over. The Roadie one-man show is heading to the Southland.
Okay, so we are back.
Let me also greet Julia S. Batiste and Ava Smith on the chat as they came in at the last minute. And I guess we could get straight into headlines. All right, today's Express, of course, Monday, August 11th, 2025. Padarat answers monastery's cry for help, and that's from the Mount St. Benedict. Ex-CPEP chairman, I did no wrong, that's Joel Edwards. West Indies, of course, beat Pakistan in the second one-day international yesterday. I actually watched that match. It was well done, West Indies. TTO get Junior Pan Am swim relay bronze. And in other stories trending in today's Express, second autopsy done, Josh's parents feel vindicated. Police hunt suspect who set fire to 14-year-old girlfriend's home. Now, that story is a curious story because I'm not sure if the person is the boyfriend of the 14-year-old or the 29-year-old who is the mother.
You know, I read that and I was wondering what going on there myself. I am happy.
Yes.
That is one misleading, confusing headline.
It is very confusing.
Yeah.
Is he the boyfriend of the 29-year-old mother or the 14-year-old girl? Who is he the boyfriend of? That's what we're not sure. Anyway, it'll clear up eventually. Hopefully they find him and they deal with him. Trinidad records 5 road deaths in 3 days. Yes, there were a lot of accidents over the past few days. Gunman robs San Fernando business, steals owner's Hilux, and fatal crash in Maloney as 2 pedestrians hit by SUV. That's all part of the 5 road deaths. All right, that's today's Express.
Okay, so see if you can organize the news in the meantime.
I could do the news there one time. The news there, of course, is Mr. Mayor Hope San Fernando benefits from increased TT India trade. Army shake-up, regiment chief sent on 605 days leave. We are living in a junkyard. CPEP battle heats up. Naparima College Old Boys celebrate 57 years of friendship. Free diving action in Charlottesville, Tobago. Kamala engages UNDP on Social Impact Fund. And Chief Secretary, Tobago diving into untraditional tourism ventures. Those are the trending stories in today's Express. I wonder what's the backstory behind this Army Chief, the head of the Army, Colonel Keston Charles, the commanding officer of the Army, being sent on leave. What's the backstory behind that?
Well, we're looking also for the backstory of the prison's commissioner, acting prison commissioner also, you know. But
we will get to that. We will get to that today.
Yes, because our guest in the next hour is the president of the Prison Officers Association, Mr. Jared Gordon.
Jared Gordon. Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I was always say Jared. Something else I was using yesterday. But he will be our guest inside the Let's Talk segment today. But looking at the Guardian today, grieving mom calls on youths to be cautious on roads. Drunk driving caused my son's death. I mean, these are really hard things to accept. Yeah. Ex-CPEP chairman denies collusion with Alwari on contracts. The sheriff's parents accept results of the second autopsy. Mom, my son will now get justice. Farley, government off to good start, but budget will be big test. And then there's Penny wants steel pan taught in every school. And the surveyor wants private sector landlords database. All right, and those are the oh wait, one more, Wendell. Tuco boss to address executive payout claims at the conference.
We have to get to the bottom of that story.
Yeah. That is a bubbling story, and Calypsonians vex.
Yes. If anybody knows and has a number for Bali or Mohammed, what Mohammed is he?
Bodyguard,
the Calypsonian bodyguard who did a press conference. Send it for us, please. We would love to speak with them and get to the bottom of that Tuco story. And if Ainsley King is listening or anybody knows a contact for him too, and he would like to weigh in on it, please, we welcome an interview with either one of them. Right?
Yes, it will be interesting because that is a bacchanal you've been hearing with these Calypsonians for a couple of weeks now. It's been in the public domain. I saw one member actually was asking if Tuco office closed down because they've been going to Tuco office to try to get some information and some other things, and they say like Tuco office not up and running. You know, they ask where the treasurer, where the secretary. They want to know if everybody going off to Caribana or whatever is the case.
But you know, normally around this time, the Tuco people, the NCC people, the Trinbago people, everybody just run somewhere. They go to the other carnivals. They get funding and they go and participate in the other carnivals around the world.
Yes. You know, that is the perks of the job.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why they didn't put me on one of them boards.
Oh boy. but people were saying even though that is the case, the office still you can't carry everybody, understand? The office still has to remain open to see about Tuco business when Calypsonians come in.
NCC posse used to go. Everybody used to go.
Yeah. I don't know.
Everybody used to go to carnivals.
In other words, everybody was going everywhere. You know?
I know, you know.
Everybody, even and just wonder why there's some of these people that can't fund their business.
Yeah.
Because when they say they have to go, it's everybody had to go here. They don't say, well, I will go this one and you will go the next one, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody want to go all.
All.
It is really something else, you know. But we'll see. We get on to somebody, man. We must find somebody. Yeah. But this whole thing about the road traffic and all of these accidents that have been taking place, you know, people, I don't know, like, you know, when things start to upsurge in this country, it's just get them going one after the other.
Yep. That's how it normally works. It's like a trigger effect. You understand? And people are blaming it on the removal of the demerit points. I don't think so, you know. I just think people drive recklessly, and especially with roads are wet now, because really almost every day now there is rainfall at some part of the country. You understand?
Yeah.
And people just driving crazy. I mean, when I drive, I sometimes it's scary the way people drive, you know. And what happens a lot, and I made this complaint before, a lot of it is triggered by people in the fast lane. I will call it the fast lane, which is the right lane, driving slowly. So it has a trigger effect on other people who trying to get to where they're going. You understand? And people don't realize when you drive slow in a fast lane, how much of a negative effect that has on other people, and on the traffic. So people aren't thinking. They just aren't thinking. Yeah. And then of course the drinking and the driving, we know what happens there. You know.
I saw another video running around too with this man in this big orange or red truck.
That's one of the videos I sent, Sir Charles. That's one you have to play. That's one of the videos I sent.
And that have plenty obscene.
It have obscene. I didn't listen to it, you know.
That woman was cussing.
Oh, but I didn't listen to it. I just watched it.
So what you doing?
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know it had obscene because I just watched it and I said,
watch it.
What is this truck man doing?
I don't know what this truck man, if he was trying to intimidate the woman or if, you know. But when you see relationships go south, people just do all kind of madness, you know.
No, but you know, Richard has a theory about truck drivers, and that might be true that he feel all of them drunk, you know. Richard's theory about truck drivers is that all of 99% of them is be drunk, you know.
Serious?
Yeah.
Where you get that from?
Richard has said that. Because you tell yourself you will never be injured high up there in this big piece of iron. So you do all kind of madness. Look at how he was riding that lady bumper and trying to overtake her around corners.
And endangering other people's lives on the road too because of the oncoming traffic. He was singing and all with this big truck.
It's
you know, I hope that the police will look for him this morning. You know. If that happened over the weekend, I am hoping that the police go and look for him. And license authorities. When you see people doing them kind of thing on the road, your license should be immediately suspended. You know, just like how when you see thing with children viral and how the child protection unit just find people. If it's one thing, I just have to give that unit credit for. You know, is that anything with any child in Trinidad and Tobago surface abuse or any kind of thing, in less than a day they just find you. You know.
Yeah, they don't make joke. That child protection unit is one of the best units that formed in the TTP.
They just find people. I don't know the other arms of the police don't work that way because sometimes you see people hold up people in supermarket and all kind of thing. They can't find the people, but the child protection unit just find the delinquent parents.
Yep.
You know? So I hope that whoever it is will go and look for that particular person. He should be suspended from driving immediately.
Yeah.
With a big truck, man. No, come on, man. Or transport totally business.
I didn't know it had obscene because that was one of the videos that I sent. I said we must play this video to show road rage. Because that's road rage, you know.
That's road rage and stupidity. When the woman done and she want to go left them. So people, we're opening the lines to take your calls. 281-1315. That's the number you can call. 281-1315. All right, you ready?
And the left lane in New York, the left lane in left-hand drive coming cities, that will be the fast lane, the left lane. But in Trinidad, in right-hand drive societies is the right lane, right? The right lane would be the fast lane. Yeah. Just a answer to Ambrose. Morning, Beauty Culture. Morning, Eva. Eva says Richard and Sir Charles. Well, it should be Wendell and Sir Charles. When the rain falls, it's a different drive. People have to engage. True, but some people don't care. No? They trust those tires and they trust that little, they have a little kidney bean thing, a little metal thing, shaped like a kidney bean. They put more faith in that than in anything else.
Let's take the call. Hello, good morning to you, caller.
Hello?
Hold on 1 minute there, Val. Hold on 1 minute. I have something disengaged. When I'll talk for 10 seconds.
Yeah, all right. So Carlisle Cupid is saying the demerit point system is a long-term measure intended to modify the overall behavior of drivers.
Okay. Right. Val, I have you now. Nice.
I was hearing some noise in the background anyway, so I was wondering. Yes, Sir Charles. Good morning to you and good morning, Wendell.
Morning.
Morning, Miss Mendoza.
So, Sir Charles, I could go ahead, right?
Yeah, go ahead. You're on. Go ahead, Val.
Right. Sir Charles?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
Right. So, now, you know what it is I want to find out? The young man, Jasper, the 6-year-old boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first autopsy that was presented, the parents said that they rejected it, but they have accepted the second autopsy. Yeah. What did the second autopsy show? Because
something completely different to the first one. Well, they say something different to the first one, so they were not satisfied with the findings, and this one saying something different.
Well, that's it. So I want to find out what that second one was, because
you'll find out when we reach the court.
Different, and there's a pathologist. What different it was show that they would be satisfied about. So something I wish I would know. I wish I get to know what a second one showed, because something did happen, and so they just can't release it yet or something because it's a private one or something, because of maybe they might be taking legal action.
Most likely might be that the legal action to
follow. So anyway, so Wendell,
yeah,
and Sir Charles, so I wouldn't be calling you all for the next couple weeks.
Yeah. Enjoy your holiday.
So you all enjoy. So on. And we can listen to the program and wish.
When I want to know where you're going.
I wake up in the morning when I go on my vacation.
Valerie.
All right, so you all have a wonderful time. And Sir Charles, I'll call you when I get back. I will call you, all right? So everybody enjoy yourself. And I'm glad in a way, because I don't want to hear nothing about politics. Let me just free my mind. Nothing. So have a good day. You all.
Right, and have a safe trip wherever you're going. I'm sure wherever you're going to have internet, so I don't know. you can still tune in and still give us a little buzz. Mr. Patrick, good morning.
Yeah, morning, Mr. Wendell. Nice to have you back, man.
Morning, Mr. Patrick.
Richard Raguba saying, they eat too much alcohol.
the corn have him. Okay.
When I was listening to your conversation this morning, you were feeling sick and whatever, and you end up by the hospital. But in the end, you say you end up by a private hospital, right?
It's a hospital, Mr. Patrick.
Yeah.
No, let me finish what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
When I watch the big shipping town where all these people went to get help, medication help and help, and then it's all a set of people came from America or in the community hospital, Adventist hospital, and a lot of people went there too. I don't know what is the problem in the health sector that people have to go in these places and rush and line up. When they do have money, so you gotta go there. What about the people who don't have money and they can't go there, boy?
Well, the people who don't have money just line up
in the hospital, and the waiting time will be some months. So
yeah, but there's a lot of people, Mr. Patrick.
How we gonna regulate that? How we gonna deal with that? I was listening to the minister talking about the new initiative But you see that program now. Nice? He said he has to stay to help people, you see that program now. Nice? But a lot of people in this country need medical assistance. And is a stress. Shallow is a stress.
Mm-hmm.
I know a girl told me she went in the hospital some night with her child and she ended up having to stay there for 2 days. You understand? They not bed, they not this, they not that. So, look at the health system running properly as we asking for many years. For years now we asking for that. Years. Government come, government go, government come, government go. But we're trying to fix the system now. Because we have a lot of people need that system.
Yeah, okay. Right? Thanks very much, Mr. Patrick.
Whether it's a private hospital or public hospital, you still are dependent on the people who are serving you at the end of the day. Money can't bring back life or anything, so
yeah, and everything, and anything could go anywhere, anywhere.
Yeah, anything could go anywhere.
Yeah, you have to be trusted that you're getting competent service.
Yes.
Captain Ron, good day to you.
Gentlemen, good afternoon, good morning.
Morning, Captain Ron. Well, it's morning by us.
Welcome back. I hope you're feeling much better. Take care of yourself better this time. And I hope Richard gets better too.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
But I've been following up that thing with the young boy that got killed in the hospital. Isn't it time that somebody in government can pass a law that with these doctors doing all these wrong practices and be held accountable? I mean, it's time there are people coming from different countries and getting locked up in the police station and taken into court, and they're getting 1 point something or 2 point something million. How come Trinidadians can't get money from the hospitals for malpractice?
Doctors generally don't go against doctors, eh?
Yeah.
No, it's time it happened, because then all of this malpractice needs to be stopped. A young little boy like that, I was looking at his picture, he's a very handsome young man. 6 years old.
Yeah.
I think it's ridiculous when you hear on the radio and the TV and see the TV and these doctors doing all these kind of crazy things, and nurses and babies dying, and nothing is coming out of it in Trinidad and Tobago. And the people who are the upper echelon people, they don't take their kids, their family there. They go overseas. So something has to be done. I hope the Prime Minister or somebody in the medical field, in the minister level, should do something. Time we hear these doctors and the minister what they're doing, and the nurses. This is why they're doing it over and over and over, because nobody is being sued or being put in prison. For this malpractice. It's time, and in some of in Barbados, that can't happen. In Grenada, that can't happen. Big Trinidad, that happening.
Yeah, it's because time, if you go to court,
but doctors can be. Of course, they can be sued. It's done in bigger countries.
Yeah.
In bigger countries than Trinidad is done. Why can't it happen in Trinidad and Tobago? Anyway, gentlemen, you all have.
Thanks very much. Thanks much.
I'll tell you about my personal experience again, and that's where sometimes with doctors, sometimes they don't always get it right. Yeah, let's face it, because they would have been treating me for high blood pressure at one point in time, only to realize my pressure was lower than it should be. You understand? And they had to change right there, because I always ask questions. Yeah, I ask, what is that for? What does that do? Whenever they're giving me anything, I ask. You understand? Most people don't. You trust the doctors, but I ask. And they would say, well, your pressure it's gone down too low now, so we don't recommend this amount of dosage in that particular medication anymore. And they would tell you that so that because the pressure was going down too low. You understand? So much so they started calling me and the guy who was in the room, the young boy, or their young boy pressure, because it was going down too low. And that is also dangerous.
It is. Let's take this final caller before we go to the poll. Caller, good morning to you. Yeah. Carol, good morning.
You have to listen on your phone.
Guys, morning.
Hi, listen
Carol,
listen on your phone.
Wendell, when you were reading the greetings, two of them that I sent you read wrong. One where I was asking Diane if she is Cheryl's sister, because I have a friend and a former sister-in-law who over the weekend said her big brother died. And I see Cheryl Payne said the same thing, and I know Cheryl has a sister whom we call Diane. So I was asking Diane Payne if she is. And when I wrote Francois, because I was telling you were saying you didn't know the surname of the child that died. I was telling you it's Francois. So those two things you kind of misread when you were doing the greetings. So I was just correcting you there.
No problem.
Have a good one and feel better, Wendell.
Thank you.
Yeah. A little more rest and he'll be good.
You see, I can't read everything, because especially when I'm doing greetings, a lot of people get into different types of chat, and I try to get the people who are now greeting me first. Yeah. So that's what happens sometimes.
And what we could probably try to do too for people when you're answering the poll questions and stuff, you could probably give your answer first and then give your explanation down the road. So if it's like yes or no, so at least we'll be able to get it, and so we can run through it faster. Because sometimes you have to go through all that reading to find out if you're saying yes or no.
And then they say no or yes.
Yeah, so we want to ask you, your people on the poll, put yes or no, and then put your reasoning going down the road after, right? Especially because it will help us. So Wendell, you see the poll there?
Yes, the poll, of course. It's only one of the newspapers actually carried the story about the first 100 days in office of the new government. And our poll this morning is based on that. Are you satisfied with the government's performance within their first 100 days in office? Yes or no? Are you satisfied with the government's performance within their first 100 days in office? That's our poll this morning. They would have just celebrated 100 days in office. So we are polling that this morning as we move forward. All right?
All right. So
you writing, Sir Charles?
Yeah, I write in.
All right. So we have votes coming in already. Josie Richardson says no. G Light, no. Marlon Motley, no. Lennox Francois, no. Slick Money Grip, no. Cheryl Henry, hell no. Island Girl, no. Ava Smith, no. Trini Gets Fit, no. Melissa, no. Michael Robinson, no. Chevron Shogun, no. Felix Kazo, no. I know UNC people on this chat. Miguel Gonzalez, no. Claire Lendor Rollins, no. UNC don't stand a chance.
Yes, boy.
With Ram Naresh, Kurt Hope, no. Beauty Culture, no. Anthony Miguel, no. I know even Michael Robinson from Yokohama does give this government the benefit of the doubt, but he and all vote no. Carol Guevara, no. Robert Harper, no. Joyce Phillip, hell no.
What? Is government in trouble?
So we got to stop there and we're going to go for news, and then when we come back, we read anything from Magic. All right, we read from Magic after the news, right?
All right, so continue to vote throughout the news, please. All right, we're coming back.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is NETT Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio. I'm Derek. Public Utilities Minister and Couva South MP Barry Patterath says the United National Congress has already kept several promises made during the April general election campaign. The party, which won 26 seats, will outline its first 100 days in office at a public meeting on August 11th, with Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar delivering the feature address. Patterath highlighted key achievements, including scrapping the former PNM's WASA transformation plan, saving 2,500 jobs, rejecting a proposed electricity rate hike, and expanding water supply coverage. Other ministers will report on initiatives such as Stand Your Ground legislation, improved national security measures, and parliamentary reforms. Patterath says the government has acted quickly despite inherited debt and will reveal more plans in the upcoming budget. The Prison Officers Association says illegal cell phones, some with prepaid credit up to $11,000, are fueling criminal activity from inside Trinidad and Tobago's prisons. President Gerard Gordon says 90 phones were seized in searches earlier this year. But smuggling continues, often involving rogue officers. Inmates reportedly pay up to $4,000 per device, using them to direct crimes, recruit gang members, and request top-ups from the public. Hidden in towels, walls, and false bottom buckets, the devices are hard to detect. Gordon says jamming technology may be ineffective and called for modern systems to block calls. Criminologist Darius Figueira warns that cell phones remain the main tool for gang leaders to run operations, and says the problem will persist unless authorities act decisively. Penalties for trafficking contraband include fines up to $500,000 and 15 years in prison. Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara says he believes Trinidad and Tobago can experience peace with divine help. Speaking at the Police Service's Worship, Word, and Warfare Forum at the Queen's Park, Savannah, Guevara pledged to restore lawfulness in the name of Jesus and urged citizens to join the prayer service, calling the day's rain showers of blessings. Acting Prisons Commissioner Hayden Ford told the gathering that the protective services are being tested, comparing their struggles to the biblical story of Job. He said the prison service stands firmly with the police and is quietly working to keep the public safe. Ford declared, "We may be persecuted, but we are not abandoned. Joy comes in the morning." Former Acting Commissioner Carlos Corraspi is now on vacation leave. Former Attorney General Anand Ramlagan is calling on ex-CPEP Chairman Joel Edwards to come clean about former government minister Faris Al-Rawi's role in a controversial contract extension. The dispute stems from a lawsuit by Eastman Enterprise Limited, which claims CPEP improperly extended its contract for 3 years, just days before the 2025 general election, based on false claims of cabinet approval. Justice Margaret Muhammad has referred the matter to the Director of Public Prosecutions. CPEP's legal team alleges Edwards misled the board by saying Al-Rawi told him cabinet had approved the extensions. Edwards denies this and says an error in the board note was to blame. His lawyer has asked for more time, citing overseas travel and missing documents. Ramlagan's team has given Edwards until August 15th to directly address Al-Rawi's alleged involvement. Friends of 47-year-old Habib John, who was killed Friday night on Rochard Road, Pinal, are calling for streetlights and a completed pavement in the area where he was struck. Police say John was walking with 68-year-old Anne-Marie Codrington Mitchell when a Kia K700 hit them near Platonite Trace around 7 p.m. John died at the scene, while Codrington Mitchell remains in critical condition with multiple fractures. Witnesses say John pushed her out of the vehicle's path, saving her life. Residents claim poor lighting, a sunken roadway, and lack of pedestrian infrastructure make the spot dangerous and are urging government action. Local officials could not be reached for comment. In international news, at the United Nations Security Council, Palestine's permanent observer Riyad Mansour says it's undeniable Israel ignores the Council's words and insists only concrete action matters now. While thanking members for their support, Mansour says statements are not sufficient, urging the Council to do something to stop the war in Gaza. He's calling for Israel's full withdrawal, the Palestinian Authority to take over governance with regional and international backing, and for Hamas to disarm. Mansour says this would pave the way to a Palestinian state and warns the Council, "Your actions today will determine the fate of millions tomorrow." And that's news at this time.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio.
Men, women tired of the invasive, painful old methods of testing prostate and breasts?
The Institute of Health and Fitness Clinic and Wellness Center offers comprehensive and non-invasive diagnostic testing, which indicates the nature and extent of diseases and tests your nutritional levels. Our quick testing can identify early signs of problems by evaluating many of the bodily functions, such as male and female sexual function, gastrointestinal function, liver function, kidney function, thyroid function, heart and brain function, and also cancer testing. Results are comparable with other medical lab tests without the use of needles or embarrassing specimen cups, and is pain-free. We also offer all natural treatments. Visit us now at number 79 St. Vincent Street, Tunapuna, or call 492-7397 or 289-6363.
Join me, Brother David Muhammad, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio, Powerful Radio. Join me to hear knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Tuesdays, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, NETT Radio. Mornings just got better. You're locked into NETT Radio Breakfast Show, fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
for show.
So, welcome inside our number 2, and of course, it pains me to have to interrupt the song for you guys. Charmaine, good morning. Charmaine say, what? I go to work if you play that kind of music. Go to work, Charmaine. Go to work, all right? Well, we welcome everybody inside of the second hour. It is New Era TT Radio. Remember, you can pick us up all day, every day. We stream all throughout the day. NewEraTTRadio.com. New Era TT Radio. If you're on TuneIn, you can get us on your Alexa and, of course, all of your smart devices. To all you people who are on the TV stream, we want to say thanks to the folks at M&E TV. Just to let you know that we want you to go to our YouTube channel, right? New Era TT Radio. Like and subscribe because we have to get some numbers closer to 100,000 we're looking to get, right? Subscribers. And go to our website at newerattradio.com and hit that support button. It's very important, okay? Professor Fillmore, Fontclair, Pan by Storm. Sure, we'll have a story to that when we come back. And we will be back in a short. Don't go anywhere.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop. Located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davante tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
San Fernando, get ready. The Roadie One-Man Show is coming to the Southland. Sunday the 17th of August at Sapa. Tickets available at all K-Squared locations. Aquilise by the Park, Southern Food Basket, Coffee Street, and San Fernando. Sapa box office from the 14th of August and Island E tickets online. For more information and box office inquiries, call 682-0467 or 683-4843. This show is strictly 18 years and over. The Roadie One-Man Show is heading to the Southland.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Okay, so we are back on the inside here with you on this Monday morning.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Pan by Storm is one of the other great classics by Ken Professor Fillmore, written and composed by him, that didn't win a Panorama. You know, I don't know what judges used to be listening to sometimes, you know, but that song didn't win the Panorama in 1990, I think.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
you know, the strange thing about it, you know, some of these songs, when you hear them and they stand out so significantly, you know, if I go back, it's come just like the road march of the last few years. If you ask anybody, what was the road march this year, last year, year before, they can't remember, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Those songs like those, that just remember those songs. Something in
Yes.
those arrangements, something in those songs was really fantastic, boy.
It's like they were determined back in the day to not give a South band a panorama. You understand? I mean, it's true the North bands were by far the better bands, but let's face it, Ken Professor Fillmore stamped his mark in terms of that area. You understand? From San Fernando. You know, it's a pity though that they didn't win the panorama that year.
Yeah.
You know, but Pan by Storm really took the Savannah by storm. You know? Yeah.
Wow.
So we have some votes. We're ready for the rest of votes, Sir Charles. Of course, our poll this morning is: are you satisfied with the government's performance within their first 100 days in office? They've just celebrated 100 days in office. Are you satisfied with their performance? And we start back with Magic. Magic said, "Na na na." That is a song, eh? Finbar Collins says, no. I wonder what the F for, boy. All they have done was take away steward pension, cut CPEP and Galavant. Nothing was done in 100 days. Kazim Mohammed says, no. CJ from New York, no. Alistair Hart, no. We are Trinis, we are never satisfied. Gregory Boyer says, no. Good morning, gentlemen. Pearl Cordis, no. Anthony Atwell says, yes. Well, there we go. Jason Samuel says, yes, they stopped the bleeding, and no, the government should be able to walk and whistle at the same time. Well, you're satisfied, I guess. Pichi Culture says, Wendell, even my UNC friends criticizing the government now. Michael Oliver says, yes. Margaret Thomas, no. Susie B, no. Rena Jennings, not at all. Lyndon Williams said, did they not criticize Miss Christopher when she suggested a prayer? Okay, that's not to do with the poll, eh? I know what that is about, Lyndon, and you're right. Hilary Zan says, no. Good morning, guys. Ava Smith, pan music really sweet. Beauty culture, sweet pan. Jason Samuel says the hospital did the first autopsy. So, all right, this is about the young man's death. Andre Be Real says, no. Kelcher Cambridge, no. Trini gets fit, says, well said, Wendell. I don't know what that's for. And Andre Reno also says no. Maybe that is to do with Pan by Storm by Professor, because I think back then, like, they were determined not to give us South Band panorama. That's how I felt. And I feel that's what you mean. So, you have any votes for Charles?
Yeah, so let me tell you what I got on this side. Mr. Billy says yes. Kurt Edwards says no. Afria Lashley says yes. Judith Mount St. George, Tobago says no. Black Pearl says yes. And Joseph Clement says no. Oh, I pressed the wrong thing here. Horatio, you didn't vote on this one. Miss Sampson says hell no. Kenwin says yes. Dabadi says no. Dre in Rio Claro says no. So I think those are the ones that I have. And Pauline says yes. Right. Any other strategies?
It'll be very interesting to find out from the people who said yes, why they said yes. I could understand why some people said no, right? But it'll be very interesting to find out from the people who said yes, how are they satisfied with it?
Okay. So we had 49 people chiming in on the poll this morning, and 41 of you said no, you are not satisfied, hell no, and all the other descriptives that you used in between there. And 8 people said yes.
It'll be very interesting to hear from the 8 people, as I said. What are they satisfied with? They satisfied with the among the ministers we have? They satisfied with the among the people who lose their job? They satisfied with the among the quarreling and chaos that taking place? Or are they satisfied with the progress that we've made. I don't know what are they satisfied with, because I always like to give governments the benefit of the doubt, which is why I don't talk national security things. I don't blame ministers in terms of national security and that kind of thing, right? I've never done it, and I won't start doing it now because government changed, right? But what are they satisfied with? I don't follow.
Well,
even my good friend Khadija, I know that she's trying. I know that she's well suited to that ministry, but things had to be done differently in to get local government off the ground and so on. We can't be going through the same issue of pothole and street sign and bad pavement and over again. As I said, the PNM run a big hoax on this country with local government reform. I swear to God, and I have I make no apologies for saying so. It was a hoax. Local government reform is a hoax. But I don't know that this government going to be changing that. They didn't change it when they had the 5 years of People's Partnership. They ran a hoax too. You understand? And then we ran 3 elections on local government reform. Big hoax. So I don't know what's going to come out of this government now in terms of local government reform. If it can't fix under Khadija, who brought Delhi a local government? Well, then it ain't gonna fix
local government, baby. A real local government.
It ain't gonna fix at all. If she can't fix it, it ain't gonna fix.
That is the end of the poll. You will listen up a little later on. You will get the pros of the 100 days. All right, so our guest is here, so let's see if we can jump inside our Let's Talk segment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where is he? Mr. Gordon, are you there? All right, there he is.
All right.
Good morning.
Morning. Are you hearing us loud and clear?
You're hearing me?
Yeah, we are hearing you.
Yeah, we are hearing you, Mr. Gordon. Thank you very much for joining us.
Okay.
Mr. Gordon, what else could possibly happen within the prison service to regain the confidence of the citizenry of Trinidad and Tobago?
Morning again.
Morning.
That is a tough, and why it's a tough one. Because although I work there, I am also part of the citizenry of Trinidad and Tobago. And I think as an organization, that we need the kind of support that we have never gotten before via the state. We have been an organization who has been expected to do monumental tasks, the tasks that no one else wants to do. But we have been tasked with doing that with little to no support, more than paying salaries and providing for the food. For our charges, when you talk about developmental programs, when you talk about infrastructural maintenance and upgrades, when you talk about tooling and all these sort of things. So that is a big ask. There's a lot that needs to be done, and all we can do, and all I have been doing is remaining hopeful that the powers that be now don't only listen, but they seek to truly impact the space positively, so that the prison service could regain some level of credibility. We are now the whipping boys, as if no other organization has rogue elements. You would think that the only prison somehow seems to attract the worst in us. Anybody who walks the street, drives their car, engages with anybody, they know that is not true. But sometimes as a young society, we choose to blame. And once we have somebody to blame, everything seems to be okay.
Well, what is troubling, Mr. Gordon, and we know that all the other organizations have rogue elements. We especially know about the TTPS, we know about the Coast Guard, we know about the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. But what is especially troubling about the prison service is because and it has recently come to the fore again, where people who are incarcerated are in fact deciding on the lives of people who live outside of the prison, who are free, who are walking free.
Yeah.
That's the troubling part of it, that these things could continue to happen.
Well, the question should be, that is, it may sound, and let me finish it because I know you will jump here.
No problem,
let me put it this way. That is not a prison issue, That is a societal issue, and I'll tell you why I'm saying that. Prisons exist all around the world. Prisons exist in every country, every nation. Some people are doing better than others, some are doing worse than others. But we operate in a country where, as a people, we seem not to understand the level of crime and criminality that truly exists in Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm saying that on the backdrop that we live in a country that has the highest rate of prison officer murders in the world. The only other country that came close is Northern Ireland. And that is because of that whole issue up on that side, Britain and Ireland and Northern Ireland and all of that issue going on there. But for a small nation like us, to have this level of murders, nowhere else in the world does the criminal element hunt prison officers. And so the next question is, well, why? Because we represent the state in the discharge of our duty. And many years ago, we said that an attack on a prison officer is an attack on the state, to which we were ignored because that is our problem and is not the nation's problem and is not our problem. And here we are seeing you have judges, attorneys, and other high ranking officials now being targeted. And this is something we said was going to happen, because now the criminal element has become emboldened, not only because of the success they have had in hunting state officials, but because they know or they feel or they believe that the state is not going to react in a strong manner to stymie their efforts. So this is a very complex issue, and one that cannot be simply explained away as a one-dimensional challenge. It's a multi-tiered and multifaceted challenge that we face. And one of the things is that, yes?
No, I understand. I understand your position in terms of what's been happening. But how is it possible? How is it possible for information like that to leave the prison's walls and not be intercepted? That you will not know who would be the intended target? How is that possible?
Well, you see, there are money there, and once again, that is when I talk about multi-tiered. The issue is, when you talk about information, people will assume that it's only cell phones, but it's not only cell phones. Inmates get visits. Some time ago, they would write letters. You would realize that they would use coded in letters. They get visits from their attorneys. And that is how a lot of this information too is passed out. Because trafficking is not only in material things, in tangible things, but it's also in information. So that is why I'm saying the whole issue of going undetected is that issue of you lack the infrastructural integrity, the technological advancements to truly address this issue. And I know everybody talking about the jammers, and if the jammers working, we and all, and when I said we, the prison service, the Prison Officers Association, we continue to ask, are the jammers really working? Because, I mean, when you look at the sheer amount of information, when you look at the number of phones that we continually find, notwithstanding our best efforts, which once again are curtailed by the fact, do you know that we have no working baggage scanner any of the nation's prisons? We have no body scanner working at any of the nation's prisons. So you are faced with a situation where a number of individuals, including those rogue elements, continuously undermine any efforts that the service may attempt to put in place with the limited resources that we have to address this whole matter of contraband, trafficking in information. That whole, it is an ongoing challenge that I am saying to the public that we are not properly outfitted or equipped to manage.
But I read an article over the weekend. I don't have it in front of me. That was, I think, by Mr. Logie, where he spoke about the amount of money that has been spent in the nation's prisons and so on, and the condition that it's still in. What really is the backstory behind that, and why haven't we seen any improvements at all in the conditions of our nation's prisons?
Okay, so so I often have to tell people, when I heard the story of the 5.2 billion, that like a fantastic, that tremendous figure, $5.2 billion spent on prisons since 2016. And if you apply simple maths to that equation, let's say if you go up to 2023, you get a figure just north of $500 million a year being spent. I immediately started to ask questions, call around, and to discover that our salary bill in the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service as of this year is somewhere in the vicinity of $430 million. That is salary alone. That is not NIS, that is not overtime, that is not incremental payments, that is not food for the inmates, that is not money allocated for vehicle purchase, for upgrades of facilities and maintenance of that is divorce of all of that. And when you look at the other issue, which I found, was there is a marked difference for us between money allocated and money released. So we have a situation where the commissioner of prison is not an accounting officer. He is not like the commissioner of police, who could spend and then say I spent. The commissioner of prison has to request permission to utilize funds under various votes. And what we have seen happening is that these requests are made, but the monies requested is hardly ever, if ever, released. And if it is released, it is never in the quantum requested. For example, you may have a project, a maintenance project, a justification, or you may want to purchase a couple of vehicles, and you put in for that, you do all your justification, it goes through the whole procurement process, and you say you need 6 vehicles, but then they release money only for 2. And that has been the experience over the last decade and more. when you look at how prison is treated by the government of the day, whoever that may be, because you see there's a psychological issue going on there too, where it is out of sight, out of mind. And because we work in an environment that is basically closed off from society, you find now that it is hard for people to identify with that said organization. So that is really what the issue is. That 5.2 billion, the police service will spend that in 2 years. That was spent salaries and in, I had to say, incidentals, food for inmates and whatnot. So in that figure, there is no room for money for any real improvement of our lot in the prison service.
Well, that's kind of scary to think that. So what improvements have been made in the prison system since? Because we've been talking prisons for a long time. We've been talking, and it escalated when there was that prison break on Frederick Street, where two of the guys were shot and killed and so on.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about how the system is in terms of people coming in and leaving and so on. And when people visit a prisoner, and isn't there any monitoring device or recording device? Because you hinted towards the fact that the hits aren't always called by a cell phone contact, but it could be direct contact. But are these visits monitored also?
Yeah. One of the things that we have to understand, the communication, yes, these things are monitored, but here what's happening. The inmates know that it's being monitored. And if they speak, they often use codes and code words. You would not believe it, may be a whole different type of language you hear in English, but it's not English, if you know what I'm saying. So the thing about it is that it goes to the fact that as a service, being so strapped for resources, we cannot, like other jurisdictions where you have a lot of data being collected, you also have the opportunity for this data to be analyzed. And when this data is analyzed and they get the particular results, then you see these organizations developing a number of countermeasures to treat with and address the challenges that they face. We don't have that sort of arrangement in Trinidad and Tobago. And as I said, I told someone recently, the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service is still operating in 1838 because we are still operating under the 1838 Act, but we are existing in 2025. So there is a whole dossier of things that needs to be done. One, not the least, but one of many, is that implementation of the new rules. Those new rules have been drafted more than 10 years now, and they have not been implemented. When you look at infrastructure, the Prison Officers Association would have contacted the OSH agency, and they would have been on a number of inspections of all prison facilities across the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago, and not one facility, not one, has been able to meet that threshold to say that it is in alignment with the Occupational Safety and Health Act. None, not one, not even the newest. So, and then you look at that, and that is a perfect example as to what I would have spoken to when you talk about resources. A number of fixes and items to be addressed would have been listed in those reports. But when you look at what has been done, it is very little to nothing. And whatever little has been done hasn't been because there are any releases from central government, but more so because on the individual depot or station, the superintendent and the officers themselves engage in the raising funds. That is what going on in the nation's prisons. Officers self-using their own salary to contribute to having things fixed and repaired. And this is a situation that has been going on for so long without anybody really paying attention. But I continue to say, and I've said it over and over again, building a new facility, maintaining the facilities that we have, hiring staff, properly outfitting prison officers to do their jobs, the implementation of technology countermeasures to address trafficking and all of these challenges we face, those things are an investment ultimately in the people of Trinidad and Tobago, because we see what is happening as a result of that investment not being made. When you talk about the recidivism rate, are we able to truly meet our mandate? When you look at the conversion rate of persons who are remanded, having their day in court, when you have people practically warehoused on pre-trial for decades, you have people there 10 years, 7 years, 6 years, 18 years, 14 years. You have a matter going on in court. People die, people retire. All sorts of things are happening in the environment. The Forensic Science Center is unequipped to deal with and address all of the challenges. You see it in court, how long the samples are being delivered and they can't get back results in time. And then you have this matter going on and on and on and on. And on the backdrop of that, a public that is starved for justice. The only thing that the public, because I don't blame the public, I don't blame the public for the view they have. Because when you look at it, justice doesn't appear to be being done in Trinidad and Tobago. It always seems that those who are not doing as they should seem to be getting away. So if this one opportunity we have, so the police lock you up, but we don't care. You sit down in jail. Not that you have not been found guilty, but it is the only avenue where the collective psyche of the people feel that, listen, justice is being done for and our behalf. And that is a sad state.
Yeah, but Mr. Gordon, at the end of the day, you have no control over how the TTPS conduct their work. No. You have no control over how the judiciary deals with it when it gets to court. No. You have no control over how the Ministry of National Security deal with it. Your control is the prisoners in your charge. And to me, that's where a lot of the problems lie. Because if we have to believe the stories, that is, because some of those stories are kind of wild, about these hits coming out of prisons and about how these prisoners have so much control over prisons officers and so on. These stories are sometimes unbelievable. But let's assume they are true. How do we fix that? Is it that we have had poor leadership at the helm of the prison service? And I'll tell you why I ask that. Because we have had a lot of changes, just like in fire services. Somehow or the other, whoever goes to the head is there only for just a short while, and they're most likely acting. You understand? Is that the problem? That we don't have a substantive commissioner dealing with it on a lengthy basis who can actually put things in place? Is that the problem, leadership?
That is part of the challenge. But going back to just what you said, you said the prison, we have no control over the police. We have no control over the judiciary. And we have our little domain to address. And if I will tell you that is the reason why crime and criminality is as it is in Trinidad and Tobago. Our criminal justice system should be a unified organism, working hand in hand, understanding that what one does affects the other. And the problem is that we have this siloized, I don't know even if that is a word.
I know what you mean.
But you know what I mean?
Yes.
This approach of this is my domain and this is what I am doing, not understanding that it's all interconnected. And so as long as we continue with that approach, we are not going to have the sort of conversion rate that we require from remand to convicted. Because I'll tell you this, we could only truly engage the convicted individual in rehabilitative programs. We cannot engage a man who is innocent, a man who could go home tomorrow when he has court, a man who could go home next week in any sort of program, because there's so much uncertainty surrounding his incarceration. But
Mr. Waddle, as you mentioned that situation, that is with an ideal situation where people may be in remand and going home at a particular place. But the way how the other external factors are that you all have no control over, remand people are there 10 years, 14 years, or however long. So when you recognize that, can't those persons be put in some sort of program?
And the question is, if you have been arrested and you are maintaining that you are innocent, how am I engaging you in a program? Remember, you are saying you haven't offended,
Mm-hmm.
The police hold you, and the delay with which the police is able to provide evidence that could then be treated with by the court, that is not your problem. It places you in a very compromising position as the offender, but you have not been found guilty. And that is the problem, because I'll tell you this, for us to develop proper rehabilitative programs, we need to assess, why did you offend? But if you are remanded, you have only been arrested. Yeah. It has not been proven that you have offended.
Yes, you're absolutely
right. So what happens with remand people, prisoners then? Do they what? They are just there and they just do nothing. So if a man stays 6 months, if he stay 1 year, 5 years,
they cannot. There. I will tell you what has been happening, and it's not right. And you see, we need to understand that the prison service is placed in a very challenging position when you talk about classification of the offender. So you have somebody who is remanded. That person cannot work. We can't make that person work because they have not been sent to us on a warrant that says hard labor. You understand what if they work?
Yeah, I'm understanding.
If they do work, it's because we offer and they accept, but they don't have to accept. If we engage them in any classes or any kind of thing like that, it is because we offer and they say, listen, I think I would want to attend that particular.
They have to volunteer.
They have to volunteer. And even in volunteering, it is difficult for the tutor, the invigilator, that person. All they can do is the best they can while the person is engaged in that. So they could come today, they don't want to come to class tomorrow, they could come 3 days in a row, then they miss out 2-3 months because they just say, well, boy, I fed up, I think I'm going, something going on with them, their matter might have been passed on to the assizes. There are so many things happening there that it's a very volatile sort of arrangement to be able to manage effectively to get the sort of results that you want. So this is why it is key to have those people converted, found guilty or innocent, so that we at the prison service could truly address. You see, when you look at even the law books, if you look at the legislation, it was never envisaged that you would have somebody remanded for that length of time, So we are left now up to our own devices. And let me just touch quickly on what you asked also about the commissioners and having somebody at the helm.
Yeah, the leadership. Is that the problem?
The leadership. That is a problem, but the problem lies with this. The prison service, the fire service, we are under the Public Service Commission. The Public Service Commission manages the entire public service. We are at a point where the most senior prison officer is a senior superintendent. So after senior superintendent, you have assistant commissioner of prisons, deputy commissioner, and then commissioner. So anybody acting in the position of commissioner in the prison service, their substantive position is senior superintendent. And that, it seems that the Public Service Commission does not understand how this negatively impacts the organization. Because the question is, how do you plan in an arrangement like that? Let's look at the current arrangement. Mr. Karaspi was sent on vacation leave, and Mr. Ford is now acting in the position. But based on our information, Mr. Ford is due to proceed on pre-retirement leave come January 2026.
That's exactly what's been happening over and over and over again.
Correct. So one of the things that we have been saying, and I have been saying, is two things. The prison service requires its own commission. That is one. Two, the Office of Commissioner of Prison, it also needs to be advertised wild, across the board. If there's a prison officer who meets the threshold, he could apply. But what I'm saying is that we require a freeing up of that. It cannot simply be that we go in with the most senior just because of how lethargic the whole promotion process is. By the time you do get promoted, it's time for you to go home. And so, yes, that is a problem. But who could you, if they put you there for 3 months, what you're going to do? If you're there for 5 months,
just now.
You going home just now. You will try the best that you could. But by the time you get a handle of on the office, all of the challenges and back and forth, you have staff to manage, you have the organization financial position to manage. You have to manage the relationship with our charges, both convicted and remanded. You have security and intelligence concerns. By the time
you know what happens, Mr. Gordon? You know what happens? You know what's the reality of what happens? And it happens throughout the public service. I ain't doing nothing to upset my pension. You see me? Let me just coast through these few months and make sure my pension is
intact. And hear what? And you're hoping that nothing untoward happens to undermine. Because remember, it's not 2 years you're working there. You're talking men working there 36 years, 37 years.
Right.
As a prison officer, you were not upset your pension and gratuity.
Exactly.
You ready to go. And so, part of the issue is how are we attracting the passion and the talent to these offices? Does the state even think that is something that we need to look at?
But Mr. Gordon, let me interrupt you here because we're going to run out of time. I just want to find out, with all those things that you have raised, I mean, like, when I listen to yourself and I go back to even people have talked in other services, the fire services, you all have voices crying in the wind, in the wilderness, more or less. How and who have you all been raising these issues with? We changed governments, we changed national security ministers. Any of these changes and people have been talking to you have been making any difference in helping you all to move past this systemic problem?
The short answer is no. Nobody listens to us. I am the only point in time, if I'm honest, was when we were under the Ministry of Justice. Incidentally, this similar regime would have been in power there at that point in time. And what overshadowed any progress that we could have made was the fact that every Monday morning there was a new minister in the Ministry of Justice, if you remember that. So the thing about it is that what we require, and more so, is for people to truly seek to don't come and think you know. That is another issue. People think that they know, but it's the normal layman in the street who may be a professional elsewhere. He was in the army, he was in the police, so he's now Minister of National Security. But his understanding of corrections and incarceration only goes as far as we arrested, we lock them up, or you're just supposed to hold them because it's box we hold it. We're not holding human beings who have to eat and sleep and get recreation and medical care. We're not doing that. It's just boxes. So you arrest a human, they pass through our gate, it becomes a box. We put them in a room, we lock the room, and all is well with the world. That is the challenge that we are facing. And, I continue to engage, and I appreciate you guys reaching out because I tell them, as long as I am here as a prison officer, as the president of the association, I am going to continue to have these discussions because it is important. We haven't gotten it right as yet, but I'm not saying that we will never get it right. I still remain hopeful that something good will happen and somebody would listen.
Thanks for joining us.
Mr. Gordon, before you go, because something is always on my mind for the longest while, with different people saying different things, and in my particular mind, I'm trying to understand where this TV Ready was that they keep talking about. Was it in the hallway or was it in a prisoner cell? Are you able to tell the public that?
From the information that I have, it was in the hallway, the corridor of that particular division. I try to stay away from the thing that they see information. Sometimes people believe what they want to believe. You could say what you want and you will have people say otherwise. But I would say this, the issue with the TV is minuscule compared to the myriad of challenges that we face. There are TVs all over the prison service, all over. The inmates, they watch movies. In Port of Spain prison, the TVs in the exercise yard, they watch the news. So it has been part of our landscape for a while. The bigger issue that we need to address is why, as a society, we find it acceptable to have citizens arrested and locked up and remained in a pre-trial state as if time is standing still for all these protracted periods of time. That is a bigger question, because it's from there all of our challenges face, because the prison officer is fighting against somebody who wants to maintain their civil liberties. And as far as they are concerned, the state has placed me here. And then the person they see every day is the goodly prison officer who is there to be their pastor, their doctor, their chef, everything. We prepare everything. The prison officer is there, and then we face the fallout of the frustration of this group of individuals.
I don't envy your job at all, Mr. Gordon. Thank you very much for joining us again on the breakfast show.
Sure, no problem.
Bring some clarification to certain issues. Thank you very much.
Sure, no problem. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you to your listeners. Have a great day.
All right. Of course, that was Gerard Gordon, president of the Prisons Officers Association, weighing in on some of the issues that continue to play. I almost started to, I remember we used to have quarrels with Seren Richards on a morning sometimes. I used to be quarreling because Seren had a kind of aggressive mentality. He was passionate, you understand? We used to quarrel, but nothing has changed. Minister after minister after minister. The People's Partnership went through 5 ministers of national security.
Yeah,
they went through several ministers of justice.
I really feel sorry for these people who had these associations, who are in it and working and asking for change. When I listened to Mr. Gordon, we listened to Mrs. Richards. I remember Leo Ramke soon across by the fire, and it's like nobody will listen to these people at all.
No, nothing changed.
Anyhow, we're going for the news and we will be back, people. Stay with us here at TT Radio.
The news you need, the the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio. I'm Derek. Public Utilities Minister and Couva South MP Barry Paterath says the United National Congress has already kept several promises made during the April general election campaign. The party, which won 26 seats, will outline its first 100 days in office at a public meeting on August 11th, with Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar delivering the feature address. Paterath highlighted key achievements, including scrapping the former PNM's WASA transformation plan, saving 2,500 jobs, rejecting a proposed electricity rate hike, and expanding water supply coverage. Other ministers will report on initiatives such as Stand Your Ground legislation, improved national security measures, and parliamentary reforms. Paterath says the government has acted quickly despite inherited debt and will reveal more plans in the upcoming budget. The Prison Officers Association says illegal cell phones, some with prepaid credit up to $11,000, are fueling criminal activity from inside Trinidad and Tobago's prisons. President Gerard Gordon says 90 phones were seized in searches earlier this year, but smuggling continues, often involving rogue officers. Inmates reportedly pay up to $4,000 per device, using them to direct crimes, recruit gang members, and request top-ups from the public. Hidden in towels, walls, and false bottom buckets, the devices are hard to detect. Gordon says jamming technology may be ineffective and called for modern systems to block calls. Criminologist Darius Figuera warns that cell phones remain the main tool for gang leaders to run operations, and says the problem will persist unless authorities act decisively. Penalties for trafficking contraband include fines up to $500,000 and 15 years in prison. Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara says he believes Trinidad and Tobago can experience peace with divine help. Speaking at the Police Service's Worship, Word, and Warfare Forum at the Queen's Park, Savannah, Guevara pledged to restore lawfulness in the name of Jesus and urged citizens to join the prayer service, calling the day's rain showers of blessings. Acting Prisons Commissioner Hayden Ford told the gathering that the protective services are being tested, comparing their struggles to the biblical story of Job. He said the prison service stands firmly with the police and is quietly working to keep the public safe. Ford declared, "We may be persecuted, but we are not abandoned. Joy comes in the morning." Former Acting Commissioner Carlos Coraspi is now on vacation leave. Former Attorney General Anand Ramlagan is calling on ex-CPEP Chairman Joel Edwards to come clean about former government minister Faris Al-Rawi's role in a controversial contract extension. The dispute stems from a lawsuit by Eastman Enterprise Limited, which claims CPEP improperly extended its contract for 3 years, just days before the 2025 general election, based on false claims of cabinet approval. Justice Margaret Muhammad has referred the matter to the Director of Public Prosecutions. CPEP's legal team alleges Edwards misled the board by saying Al-Rawi told him cabinet had approved the extensions. Edwards denies this and says an error in the board note was to blame. His lawyer has asked for more time, citing overseas travel and missing documents. Ramlagan's team has given Edwards until August 15th to directly address Al-Rawi's alleged involvement. Friends of 47-year-old Habib John, who was killed Friday night on Rochard Road, Penal, are calling for streetlights and a completed pavement in the area where he was struck. Police say John was walking with 68-year-old Anne-Marie Codrington Mitchell when a Kia K700 hit them near Platonite Trace around 7 p.m. John died at the scene, while Codrington Mitchell remains in critical condition with multiple fractures. Witnesses say John pushed her out of the vehicle's path, saving her life. Residents claim poor lighting, a sunken roadway, and lack of pedestrian infrastructure make the spot dangerous and are urging government action. Local officials could not be reached for comment. In international news, at the United Nations Security Council, Palestine's permanent observer Riyad Mansour says it's undeniable Israel ignores the Council's words and insists only concrete action matters now. While thanking members for their support, Mansour says statements are not sufficient, urging the council to do something to stop the war in Gaza. He's calling for Israel's full withdrawal, the Palestinian Authority to take over governance with regional and international backing, and for Hamas to disarm. Mansour says this would pave the way to a Palestinian state and warns the council, "Your actions today will determine the fate of millions tomorrow." And that's news at this time.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio. NETT Radio.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davante tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
All right, and we are back. We are back to say goodbye and thank you so much for joining what is inarguably the best breakfast show on radio. Thanks for those who would have expressed sentiments to me in terms of getting better. Yes, I will get better. I will get back my full voice just now. It wouldn't be as nasal as it is. So Ava Smith, Cheryl Henry, Beauty Culture, Dean Allen, Valerie Mendoza, Andre, Carlisle Cupid. Local government is a hoax. I've been in it. I was in it for a long time. I know it's a hoax. And if I tell you why I know it's a hoax, you may not believe me. But I probably would have said it on radio already, you know. But if I could see you, I'll tell you why I'm sure it's a hoax. It was a hoax. Let's hope it changes. Right? So all those folks who kept us in check on the chat, thank you very much for joining the best show.
Yeah, and before we go, don't forget today it is World Steel Pan Day, right? And of course, the Drive Time Exchange, which is 23, they will be on the streets of Port of Spain to the heart of Steel Band territory to honor the Right.
I thought there's something at Woodward Square, not so?
Yeah. So they'll be there to honor the creation of our national interests in the celebration of the UN declared World Steel Band Day. So you can join Cody Fraser for this exploration. He will be there at Woodward Square this afternoon, all right? So the action continues.
Yeah, Wednesday I think is the Pan and Powder Parade, which leaves City Hall and goes up to the Savannah. That's always one that I look forward to attending.
Yeah, that nice slow drag.
Yeah, that Pan and Powder with All Stars.
Yeah, chip.
All Stars and Renegades. You can't get better than that. You know?
Yeah. I saw somebody post something.
Huh?
I saw somebody post on it with some shooting up by Despers.
Shooting up by Despers?
Yeah, there was. I saw some thing being posted. I have the video. I'll send it for you to see.
Okay.
So, but, yeah, like somebody went looking for somebody and shoot 2 people or something like that. But that was Panyard. I don't know if it was actually yesterday, if it was the day before, because I don't. But I'm hearing of that.
Yeah, it's always sad when you hear about a shooting around a Panyard. You know?
Yeah, because I mean the images of the Panyard has changed so much, over the years from where it used to be to what it is. I always tell myself, if we in Trinidad and Tobago could change the image of Pan from the cutlass days to today, how people revere and people, I mean, all the bands, I mean, long ago was only certain types of people in the band. Now you have all university students, so people coming from abroad, people have the children, women, men, everybody. That whole culture, we could change anything in this country after that.
Yes, true. And you know what we need to change?
Example.
You know what we need to change? This is my last salvo to Carlisle Cupid. We need to make local government part of the constitution. And all governments have absolutely refused to make it part of the constitution. So government can wake up one day and decide, guess what? We ain't having no local elections. Huh? It is that why I have a big problem with local government reform. Until it is part of the constitution, it's a hoax. Okay, that's my opinion. You may not agree with it, but that's my opinion. There's no protection for local government in the constitution. Absolutely none. Right?
Okay, so people stay with us here on New Era TT Radio. Remember, we stream all day, every day at newerattradio.com and New Era TT Radio on TuneIn. And of course, remember your next engagement for the drive time will be at 4 p.m. this afternoon for all you folks on YouTube and Facebook. Right? So, this is where we wrap up the breakfast show.
Yeah, folks, have an absolutely wonderful day. Remember, one life. Live it. All right, this has been The Breakfast Show.
The Breakfast Show.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.